Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Mark, we're live, buddy. How you doing?
Hello. Oh, are we live already?
We
Oh
are
my
live.
God. I was almost falling asleep actually because it's so late here. It's like 2 a.m. or something. But that's okay. What a show we've got for you tonight. I cannot believe we got a last minute guest for you.
What?
Sky Skylar Woodward is going
No
to be
way.
coming on and talking about his upcoming game with Dennis Orcullo. We're just waiting for him to finish with the chickens. Actually, he's just putting the chickens to bed or feeding them or something. And of course, he's got his child as well to take care of. We have got such a great show for you tonight. Joey, we've got Jeanette coming up, haven't we?
Jeannie.
Oh, sorry, Jeannie.
Yeah,
Jeannie.
Jeannie Seaver. But
Jeannie
hey,
Seaver.
Mark, before we get going, let's bring in Molina. Hey, Molina.
Where is it? Oh,
Yo,
there he is.
what's going on, boys? Got
What's
a good
up,
show.
brother?
And I'll tell you what, we'd
Well,
like
okay,
just
doing.
to do a quick sound check with everyone. If you can hear us can you just let us know if you can hear me, Mike, and Joey, please? Just let us know if you can hear us because we don't want to talk to ourselves all night and find out we've got some kind of little problem going on. But what else
We've
have we
done
got
that
going on
enough the
tonight
past
then,
few
Joey?
weeks.
Well, we got a great show tonight. We have Chad Sholders coming in from Havoc Productions. He's got a few announcements to make. We also have JT Thompson from the Billiard Room. Is that right? Or the House of Billiards.
House of
From
Billiards. Have you seen that room? It
Yeah,
looks absolutely gorgeous. It
I
looks
ain't seen it.
gorgeous. Oh,
I
I
want
want
to
to
see
be
it.
there right now.
yeah, and we also we mentioned Jeannie Seaver, the U.S. Amateur Champion. We're going to have her on. We had Jason Shearman last week, and we're going to have Jeannie on this week, and she's going to talk about that tournament and some of the stuff that she's doing in Florida, which is super cool. So I'm really excited for this show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Can I just say, Joey, I've got a new feature for this week. If you don't mind, I want to really bring this in. It's called Q&A, but that's spelt CUE and A, not like questions. See that? See what I've done there? You see what I've done there?
I
There
like
it
that. I
is.
like
I
that.
was up all night
That's pretty
thinking of that
sharp. I
last
like
night.
it.
That's
And
fun.
the big question,
And
the
it's time.
big
It's time to leave
question
the room now,
tonight,
Mark. You,
Molina.
you can't get
Actually,
any higher
Molina
than that.
Mike, let me ask you this question now, Molina. Right, you're in a tournament, okay? You're in your hill, okay? Your opponent is just about to play the wrong ball. He's playing for the 3 ball, but he should be playing on the 2 ball. Do you tell him or do you not tell him?
1000%,
You
without a
do.
doubt. Yeah,
Of
I let
course
them
you
know.
do.
I
Well,
don't. I don't want to win like that. And I know there's other people that'll go and argue that it's the player's responsibility, but personally, I wouldn't want to win like that. I want to win off on the merit of each other's game. I don't want to win by default. Now, if it's a friend of mine, now if I'm playing Joey, because Joey's my friend
don't
and
tell
we're
him.
messing around, I ain't telling Joey. Yeah,
No,
I'm letting him go
absolutely
and
not.
I'm letting him
Take
go
his
and grab.
money.
I'm letting him go and shoot the wrong ball, and I'm just picking up the cue ball. And I'm saying go watch back. But in the tournaments,
Mhm.
keep it classy. So, but with Joey for sure, I'm just picking up the cue ball. You
You
know.
know, I'd like to chime in on this if I could, Mark. I think this is a great topic to kind of discuss really quickly. Uh,
Absolutely.
I've had this happen to me where I've shot the wrong ball in an event. And I'll say this. Yes, I would tell the player that hey, you're shooting the wrong ball. But at the same time, I've never gotten upset at the player for not telling me, because it is my responsibility. In fact, I was playing a good player. I think his name was Greg Antonakis from the Northeast. I was
Oh,
playing
great,
this.
Mr. Southwest.
Yeah, I was playing him at the Super Billiards Expo one year. He's a good player. And, it's one of those matches where we're probably about 3 rounds in. So I felt like if I could beat him, I had a good chance of going deep. And that tournament has 800,000 players. And it was a crucial point in the match. And I literally shot the wrong ball. And Greg didn't tell me. And then he called it. And afterwards, he kind of said, I couldn't tell if you were going to shoot the wrong ball or not. I'm sorry. And I ended up making a good friend there because over the next 4 days, we saw each other like 100 times. It just happened that way. I lost the match to him. And every time I saw him, we talked, and I didn't hold any hard feelings against him, even if he
He's
did
a
see
stand-up
it.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, it is my responsibility to recognize that and not do that. I mean, it's a rookie mistake that I made, but I would step up and tell somebody. It's just how I am. I've lost matches like that, actually.
I won't tell you my story now
like
about it. There's a great Frenchman called Kevin Dudek. I became great friends with him exactly in the same way you are talking about. When I'll tell you another time, it was in the game of 8-ball where he scratched on the break. I didn't play up the table. I ran the table. No one noticed. I won the game. I won the match 2-0. And then it was brought up by somebody in the that was watching, and I agreed to play the match again because I hadn't played up the table, and we become great friends. And he watches all my streams now, and we become really good friends. So I think it's nice to just be nice, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, also tonight we have it's becoming very famous now. Our caption competition tonight features the great picture. I'm sure everyone's seen it in the world of pool.
No hands down the pants this week.
No, this one. What a terrible stance that is. She's probably saying to him something like, for God's sake, don't stand like that. You'll never be a world champion standing like that. Anyway, we invited you all to give us your captions on that, and we have a winner, and we're going to be announcing that a little bit later on. As we said.
Congratulations, Opie.
Yeah,
congratulations. Congratulations.
Beautiful, isn't it? I just feel sorry for Alberto. The last I know, she was going out with Alberto from Spain. The next thing I know, honestly, that's the last I know.
It's not that kind of talk show, Mark. It's not that kind of talk show.
I know. It's the last I knew.
Oh my goodness.
Mark, I think our special guest is here. You want to bring him in?
Let's bring him in. The one and only Chicken Man, Skylar Woodward. There he is. Look at him, look.
Chicken Man. I got them all set up. Y'all don't worry.
Oh man, that's funny.
He's about to go play a match for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and a few days before, he's working on the chickens there at the house. I love it.
Yeah, I'm getting them all set up and ready to go. They got to be comfy while I'm gone.
There you go.
You are just such a lovely. You're just a country boy at heart, aren't you? You're just lovely.
Yeah, deep down, I am country. Might not show it all the time, but
so you're in West Texas now, right, Sky?
Yeah, West Texas, Lubbock.
Nice, buddy.
So Sky, tell us.
Good deal. So you.
Yeah, tell us about this match coming up. How you feeling about it?
You know, I feel good. It was weird. Like, it was like, hey, do you want to play Dennis? I'm like, yeah. I mean, they asked me if I'm playing Bartail. I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, I've had an open thing to play anybody for since I was 20, but then it got canceled. So then I quit practicing again because I wasn't going to tournaments. So I hadn't been hitting balls, and then it wasn't. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something, they called me and said, hey, do you want to play the 9th, 10th, 11th? I'm like, yeah, sure, that's enough time. I'll be ready. And, I've been hitting balls every day. Shoot, I'm ready to play. Today
I've
was
heard
not.
That secretly you've been on some hardcore regiment, training every day. And that's what I'm hearing. So is that true?
I mean, I don't know. I've been hitting balls. I do know that. Not as much as I needed to or as I wanted to, but I did hit enough balls, and I'll tell you what, I'm ready. I am ready for sure.
You got a reputation of being the bar table king, right? I mean, and I've said that your big table game has grown exponentially over the last few years, but you've always held that crown and had that open offer when it comes to bar tables. So is what happened last time between you and Dennis, is that something that you kind of think about, knowing that he's coming into your world these days and onto the bar table?
I mean, yeah, of course. It was that was my own fault. I didn't prepare like I should for that match. It was just kind of thrown together, and I was like, yeah, I'll be ready and I'm gonna practice. And because of COVID and then everything going on here, I honestly didn't practice enough, and that was my own fault because I had plenty of chances. I shouldn't have got beat, by 22 games. I could have.
You were up the first day big.
Yeah, and I feel like I really could have won that match if I had just been hitting balls. And, I like that break format, and I just, I hadn't hit enough balls, and I didn't dial in the break like I normally did. So that was my own fault. And now coming to the bar table, it's kind of like it kind of lights a fire under me. Like, I mean, I'm not going to let nobody's beat me yet on that table, so I don't plan on letting anybody start. It's just like I can't
like
let it again.
I got a question for you.
You can hear the confidence in him.
How many racks are you going to win by, Skylar? 150 the race. So what are you going to win? 100 to 101, 102, 103, something like that?
I'll tell you what, I always set my standards high to try to, if I meet that, then man, that's great. But like I told myself, I feel like possibly, I mean, if I play good, if I'm in stroke, I feel like honestly I could beat him by 15 every day. So I feel like I could beat him by 40. I think I can beat him 150 to 110. I feel like
that's
if I'm just playing. I think that's not asking too much. I really feel like that's a good number if I just play.
I had 150.
I think it could be 20 games on either side for sure.
Yeah, Sky, I know that there's a lot of money wagered on this match. And tell us what it's like, even though it's not all your money, what's it like to play for so much money?
Man, it was just like they were like, hey, you want to play this match? It's going to be like 15 apiece. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I can get 15 up. Easy. And the next thing you know, this guy calls me and this guy calls me. Hey, I bet this and I bet that. And I'm like,
balloons.
What the heck is going on here? I mean, it just turned out to be a huge match. I'm like, man, I've really got to hit balls now. Shoot. Now I can
because
win.
Dennis is playing so great, and then you have the last time we seen you go and play on a bar table, you beat Alex 3 straight sets, and Alex is no slouch, right? And that was on the East Coast. So I love it, man. I love all that action being stirred up, and I like hearing that you're back hitting balls and having that dedication. Is the MVP back? Are we going to see that MVP form that we didn't get to see last time with Dennis?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm hitting the balls good. I had a tip I was playing with, and I guess it was a bad one. And today I was tired. I kept miscuing when I was like on some shots. I was just like, what the heck? So today I went and changed the tip, and when I got the new one, just immediately it felt so much better. But
what are you playing with, Skylar? What you put on? What tip you got?
A Techno Dud made by Altaville.
Okay.
But yeah, you see the MVP. I almost put a post up. Today saying Daddy's ready, but I didn't put it up.
Well, you did now.
I wanted everybody to be surprised. Yeah, but everybody, there's gonna be some people that don't see this, and they're gonna see me play this weekend. I'm ready for real, ready to go.
Yeah, Sky.
Where do we watch it? Sorry to interrupt you, Joey. Just quickly, where do we watch it? I just want to know that. Tell everyone.
TV.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, Sky, I'm just wondering, with the way that the Shane and Dennis match played out, I know that was on a big table and everything, but that comeback was just unbelievable. I mean, is that going to factor into your thinking if you get a lead in this match, or are you going to be focused on just how dangerous Dennis can be?
Yeah, and I know he's never really out of it. He's Dennis Orcullo. So if I get a lead or whatever, I'm just going to try to, pretty much keep my foot on his throat and keep him down.
Have to.
Try to just extend the lead.
I think that was one of the biggest things of the last time whenever you guys played that night on the spot, was because you were going into the end of the day with such a big lead, and Dennis just came back and stole it. And I think that completely changed the momentum of that match. So with that in mind, I hope you go and keep your foot on his throat, man, because you're going to have to. You were there and you saw what Dennis did to Shane,
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Sky, look, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We know you're prepping, and we just glad you stopped by and chatted with us. We want to wish you the best of luck, and just go out there and play great, play your best, man. Whatever happens, happens.
Thank you. I need the luck. I just want a good match for everybody to sweat.
Get back for them chickens.
Get
Get back to
help
the
out.
chickens now. They need you.
Finish them.
Awesome. Well,
Hey,
thanks
real
so
quick,
much, Sky.
we're
Oh.
gonna have Chad Shoulders on, so I know you have some experience with him. He said he's got some upcoming things to go and drop when it comes to pros, man. So hopefully you stay watching and keep your ears peeled, man.
Yeah, I will.
Awesome. Thanks so
Cheers,
much,
Sky.
Sky. You take
Good
care.
luck out there, Sky.
All right, yeah, y'all too. Thank you.
All right. I tell you what, I love talking to Sky Woodward, right?
I love him. Could talk to him all night, couldn't he? He's just like talking to a guy in the garden, just having a chat, shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
He was
Probably-
leveling with us
He's
too.
playing
That
for
was the great thing about it.
$100,000 or
Yeah.
something, right?
Molina.
Oh, a lot more than that.
Molina,
Really?
is he the second best player in the U.S.?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got to be right
When
there in the
MVP
conversation.
Sky is, yeah.
Yeah.
I was arguing he was better than Shane during those MVP years, when it comes to 9-ball. And Sky's right. In that format, that 9 on the spot, he was one of the best in the world. He won Derby City with that same format. He's deadly with it. And the thing is, he controls that 2-ball where that 2's always coming back around and ending by the side pocket every time in that format. So I was real surprised at what happened last time with Dennis, but I think he's going to be ready. And I know he didn't mention it too much, but I heard he's been practicing, so and I like that confidence in him, man. That confidence, that little swagger that he had.
Yeah.
You got to have it going up against Dennis for sure.
Well, look, we got quite a few people in the live stream now. So do me a favor, hit up the chat. Let us know, who do you think's going to win, Sky and Dennis? We're curious to see. And also, as we're coming through, when we get a guest in, if you have questions for them, go ahead and hit it up in the chat. We got it right up on the screen. We'll be able to hit one of those questions and get it to one of our guests. So, yeah, check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let us know where you're watching from. Any questions, anything you want to hear. What we got next, Joey?
So next we have with us the U.S. Amateur Ladies Champion,
Oh my
Jeannie
God.
Seaver. Hey,
Hello.
Jeannie. Can you
How
hear
are
us
you
okay?
guys? I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Well, Jeannie, we're so glad you could join us. We tried to get this last week, but you were out playing pool, so
Yeah.
we're glad
pool,
you're
you know.
yeah, we're glad you're able to make it this week. And
Thanks for having me.
U.S. Amateur Ladies Championship. I mean, that's a huge title. Tell us about that. How did the tournament play out, and what was your mindset during the event?
It was pretty exciting for me because I'd actually never played in that event before, and I knew it was tough because, especially when I saw that if I won 2 matches, I would have to play Tina Larson, and she was the last one to win it. But yeah, I got lucky and squeaked by my matches.
Lucky. Now, where exactly do you live, Jeannie?
Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs, Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 minutes from Strokers.
Yeah, and you've been a top player in Florida for quite a while. I used to live in Jacksonville. I don't think we ever met, actually, but I think we might have played in some of the same rooms at the same time. So,
Very possible.
we had Jason on last week, Jason Shearman, who was the men's winner of the U.S. Amateur. And
Yeah, that comeback he made. Wow.
yeah, that was insane. We had to talk to him about that, and just listening to him tell us about it was kind of neat. But you ended up beating his wife in the finals, is that right?
I did. And I've played Julia, I think once or twice maybe, and her game has really stepped up. I'm really proud of how far along she's come because I didn't think that she would be the person I would play in the finals, but she played really well, and it really showed that she's been studying the game.
Awesome.
Are you still talking?
Of course. Women aren't like the guys. We're not gonna.
Of course you're not. You're sensible.
Hey, Mark, when I asked Jeannie to come on, I said, "Hey, Jason's going to be on too. Is that going to be awkward?" And she was like, "No, we're good. We're cool."
They're both
old
right?
friends. Over 10 years, something 15, something like that.
That's awesome. So tell us, Jeannie, I know that you have been really working hard to raise money for Jeanette Lee, and we were all devastated by the news. I think everybody who's played pool has some kind of story about what Jeanette Lee meant to them, So,
right, and what kind of influence she brought on them.
Exactly, and to the sport. So tell us kind of your motivation behind it and what you're doing and how people could kind of be a part of it.
Well, I'm lucky that I can say that she's a very close friend of mine. If it wasn't for that, then I'd probably be doing this blind. But it's not just me though. There's a lot of helpers that are helping with this, and the pool hall is very supportive in everything. They're like, do whatever you want. I'm like, okay. So we have a barbecue guy, all kinds of things to raffle. I mean, Rodney Morris sent his instructional DVD. We also have a painting of him and a painting of Johnny Archer. We have Molinari sent a cue from Belgium. Predator sent cues. A lot of billiards companies and players sent items. Darren Appleton sent a jersey. He signed it and a cue ball and pictures. So I expect a very good turnout, I think.
And tell us the details. When is it? And, how can people be a part of it?
The first one actually is this Saturday, April 10th at Brulin's in Carrollwood, Tampa. It is a 2-day event, but we think the A bracket will probably finish in one day because we're having 2 tournaments, one for the A bracket, one for the B bracket. And then the B bracket has over 60 players already, so definitely 2 days for that. But the A bracket, I think, has around 30 right now. So, of course, we think it's going to be more, but we think we can finish that one in one day.
Wow, that's awesome. So,
and then there's also another one, May 8th, we are having at Strokers, which will also be 2 days depending on the number of players.
Strokers, is that where the fight, where you played and won the title, right?
It is. Yep.
Yeah, I thought I recognised that. And just touching on the Jeanette story, she's been putting some fabulous videos on Facebook. Just what an inspiration to everyone.
Yes. She wants everyone to see her progress and see how strong she is trying to stay. And actually, she is staying strong. So
yeah, it's beautiful to see. And I know I think the last time I checked, it was like $220,000 or something.
For the GoFundMe,
yeah, the GoFundMe.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it? The Jeanette Lee legacy. It's just amazing, and we just want everyone to give as much as they can to that. And it's great to see tournaments going on around for them. I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots more happening. So well done. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, and Jeannie, I didn't want to kind of get away from you, but I think that shows who you are as a person and what you're trying to do for Jeanette. But going back to you, what are some of your plans from here in terms of playing pool? So you've won the U.S. Amateur. What's next for Jeannie Seaver?
Next is as soon as the WPBA puts out their schedule, hopefully I'll be playing in those events again. They're kind of tentative at the moment, so we don't know. I know I have from the U.S. Amateurs, I have a guaranteed spot. They're paying for any tournament that I want in 2022. But hopefully we'll have some before then.
Yeah. Are there any players that I always like asking this question? I hope you don't mind. Are there any players that are like your nemesis, like someone that you have faced time and time again and you just struggle with, or you just, you have to get over the edge for that person? Is there somebody like that out there for you?
I keep losing double hill to Ga Young Kim, or I win. I think last time I won. But she did have a sty in her eye, so that kind of worked in my favor.
She's not a Tyler sty, was it?
No. No, she's actually a good friend. So I wouldn't say I have any nemesis players. We're all pretty close.
Yeah. Well, who down there in Florida do you compete with quite often? Who are some of the top ladies down there?
Oh, well, when Jeanette, before she got diagnosed with cancer, we were streaming, we were live streaming practice sessions, but then she got very sick and we haven't practiced since last year. But other than that, it's mostly the guys out of Strokers that I play with.
Yeah.
There aren't that many women in this area. Sonia Shabib, but we live together, so I don't know if that counts.
What's your favorite shot to play, Jeannie? Is it run through or a deep draw shot or some nice lots of left English or right English or a jump shot? What's your favourite shot to play? We all have our
It's
favourite.
crazy. I love it when the object ball is frozen to the rail and the cue ball is way up table and you don't think you can cut it in and you just spin it in. I love that shot.
Beautiful.
That's a sexy
Lovely.
shot.
It
No
is a
doubt about
sexy shot. That is
Cold-blooded.
sexy shooting
Cold-blooded.
right there.
Oh,
She's
man.
gone all shy, look.
Well, Jeannie,
Funny.
we really appreciate you stopping by and talking to us about your victory there. And one thing I'd like to get from you is I'd like to get a commitment that before you play in that WPTA event next year or whenever it's going to happen, that you'll come back on and tell us about that and how you're preparing for that. Would you do that?
Absolutely. For sure.
Awesome. Also, if you have some stuff that you'd like for us to share with regards to your fundraising efforts for Jeanette, we're happy to do that. So go ahead and shoot them over to me. And
Okay.
best of luck to you. And thanks so much for stopping on Booth Brothers.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having me. Have a great night.
We appreciate it.
Congratulations, champ.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, she's
what
really cool.
lovely people. We get all the best people on here, don't we, Mike?
We got lucky. We got
Tell
lucky.
you what, we got Chad Sholders coming up in a minute as well.
Yes, we
Alright,
do.
He's got some stuff he's gonna be dropping. Some stuff he's been keeping close to the vest. So I'm looking forward to giving him some heat, asking him some tough questions.
We need to grill him, don't we? We need to get him
Yeah.
right under the thumb and say, right, get it out of him.
Hey, I forgot to
Absolutely.
remind you guys that we're going to do the lock of the week this week. Would you guys have any objection to me bringing that up now?
No, you do what you want, mate.
Awesome. So I just want to bring it up for the viewers out there that the Board Lock Picker Lock of the Week. So one of the sponsors of this show, Board Lock Picker, it's simply a YouTube channel. And all that this person is asking for, his name's Joey, really cool guy, pool player, is go to his channel and subscribe to his channel. It's a really easy ask. And he supports events like this. He supports, some of Roy's basement stuff. And all he's asking for is just to subscribe to his channel, guys. Super easy. Please do it. And so what we do is a little segment each week. It's called the Board Lock Picker.
It's that
Lock
easy.
Week. Oh,
It's
you
that
just did it,
easy.
Mike?
Subscribe, yes, sir.
One new subscriber.
That
So
easy.
guys, let me just explain from a YouTube standpoint. This is how support works. You guys go there, you subscribe to his channel. He gets 100, 200, 500 new subscribers just from being a part of this show. He supports this show. And it works just like that. So thanks, Mike, for subscribing. Now
Finally.
let's give our Board Lock Picker Lock of the Week. Mike, you got one this week?
You always put me on the spot. You don't even warm me up or nothing or give me a
No.
heads up. I'll be traveling up there to go see Sky and Dennis this weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not gonna say who I think's gonna win, but I'll say it'll be by 16 plus racks.
Wow. That's so interesting because that's actually related to my pick of the week.
Oh,
In the
there you go.
opposite direction, I was going to say it's 150 games. And over the course of 150 games, would you believe that at the end of it, there's going to be less than 8 games that separate these two? And by the way, I'm coming off a pretty strong pick. I know last week your pick, Mike, was Dennis Orcullo to win that big one pocket event, and you did win that. But I had Scott Frost to win it, which, with Scott not playing as
Hey,
much lately.
Scott played good. Scott played really good. He gave him hell, that's for sure.
I
think
heard
he
he
ended
was
up
up.
losing to Warren.
No, he lost to Warren on the winner side. Then he battled back through the loser side, beat Josh Roberts, beat good
He was
players.
up on Dennis.
He was up on Dennis. I want to say
Yeah.
7-6 Hill, and the Nick De Leon told me a ball skid, and then Dennis came back and got 2 balls and ended up beating him 8-6. What is this? This looks like a
150,
prediction here.
110.
This is my lock of the week. Before Skylar came on earlier, I had 150 to 112 is my bet on
38
Sky.
games? 38 game winner.
38 games. And Sky, actually, we was only 2 out because Sky reckons he's going to do it 150 to 110. That was his prediction. So we're 2 racks difference.
Wait a
Whoever
minute.
gets the
You-
breakdown. Any
Mark-
one of them can get the breakdown and put some packages on them.
I missed this. Mark, you're predicting Sky's going to win 150 to 112?
Yes.
38 game winner is what he said.
Yeah.
38 games.
Well, that's kind of
Going
cool
out
that
on a limb,
we all picked the same event kind of randomly because we don't coordinate this ahead of time, guys.
No,
I just say give us our
I
lock of
wish
the
you
week.
would have. I wish, because I wouldn't have known about this up.
I'm telling you, Mike, you're on the wrong side of this one. So are you, Mark. This is going to be super close. It's not. I can't say it's going to be Shane Dennis Hill
8
close.
games is nothing though. 8 games in a bar table is nothing because that can go in. I mean, that can go
Sky's
and
the
swing
king of the bar
one way or the
table.
other.
Come on.
It's going to be a great match.
I
I'm
mean,
super excited for it.
Yeah,
I
it
cannot
is.
wait
It's
to
going
see
to
it.
be close.
I cannot wait to see it, mate. Should we do a couple of quick fun facts? Couple of quick pool fun facts before we go on to the next. Before we introduce Chad, what do you reckon?
Yeah, go ahead,
Let's
Mark.
go.
Shall I do one?
Yeah, go ahead.
According to research conducted a few years back, billiard champions have the highest average age of any sport, 35.6 years.
Who'd have thunk
So
it?
there's hope for you yet, Joey. How old are you? 35.
How old are you, Joey? I'm about to say.
I'm about to be 40, about to be 49. Okay, I'm sitting here. I'm just thinking I'm about to read my fun fact, and I don't have my reading glasses, so that's a problem. The world's largest billiard hall was built during the billiards golden age. The recreational Mammoth 7-story health spa was a bustling Detroit business in the 1920s. It featured 103 tables, 88 bowling lanes, 20 barber chairs, 3 manicuring stands, 14 cigar stands, a lunch counter on each floor, a restaurant that could seat 300, and an exhibition room with theater seating that could accommodate 250 spectators.
That's a
Sounds pretty
city.
dope,
That's
man.
not a
Yeah, I
pool, bro.
know.
That's a city.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We got a good player out here in Arizona. His name's Mike Sandoval, a pretty good player. And Mike and I were talking, and one day I was driving by a barber shop, and not too far past the barber shop, I saw a pool hall. And I called him. I said, Mike, I got this idea. How about a barber shop where the windows are open and you can look out over the pool, see the pool tables? I mean, wouldn't that be great? Because think about 2 places where people just hang out and chit chat and have fun. Pool hall, barber shop. He said, I've thought about that. So maybe one day coming soon. I don't know.
Just very
That's a good
quickly,
business idea.
Joey, can we go have a quick look through the chat and see who's on and see if there's any comments or questions or anything in the chat? Is there?
Yeah,
I know you haven't got your reading glasses on, so I'm just putting it on you a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
we got Bang Time Pool here from Florida. We had Sky Woodward's mom in here, so Deborah, which I think she was pretty. I think she was pretty instrumental in hooking up Sky for tonight. I know you had reached out to her, Mark. So thank you, Deborah. We really appreciate that. Our buddy Corby Dayhoff's always in the chat here. He's chiming in, and looks like we got Mark Schaff and Kevin Harkrader and Marianne Rolliston. Guys, if you have any questions, anything you want to hear from the guests or any feedback for us, just go ahead and put it in that chat. That's why we keep it up on the screen so we can see what you guys are talking about, see where you're from. Love to know where you're from. And we got Mark
doing an event out in Florida too. I think coming up in the next month or so.
Is that right?
Pretty good. Yeah, like an all-around thing going on. It's supposed to be good added money. She's got good sponsors. It's gonna be great.
Awesome, Marianne. If you want to send us some stuff on that, we can put it on next week and get it up there so people see it.
Absolutely. Don't forget, we've still got our caption competition to come. We got a winner in that. We got a really good one. It's no hands down the pants, unfortunately, Mike, this week for you, mate. Unfortunately, but we have got a great one. Skylar Woodward. Skylar Woodward. Tyler Steyer, of course, proposed to Margaret Fefalova this week. And
you want to do that now, Mark?
Well, no, not now. But did she say yes? No one knows if she said yes or no. Did she say yes?
She said yes.
Did she? Okay, right. So that is the picture. There it is, and we're going to be. Well, you can still give us your captions now if you'd like to. There it is on the screen. What is Tyler or Margaret? What are they saying to each other? You
caption this.
Prize, caption it exactly.
I had it. I had the winner. I can't win nothing. Nobody votes for me around here.
Come on, Mike. What would you say to it? Let's put you on the spot. What would you say there?
Margaret's saying that's not the diamond I was hoping for. All jokes, though. All jokes.
I like that. Yeah. Have you got one, Joey? Have you been thinking of one or not?
No, I couldn't think of one. And, I like Tyler a lot. I was pretty happy for him, and I didn't want to do anything upset him. I don't know.
Thought of another one. I've just thought of another one. Margaret's saying to Tyler, why haven't you got your hand down your trousers? That's what's normally on the captions.
Of course.
I'm not touching it. Oh man. There's one from Marianne. She's got one. I know I'm going to eat playing pool a lot to pay for this ring. Please say yes. Oh man. So what do you reckon, Mark? We bring in Chad from Havoc?
Let's get Chad. I just love his voice. He sounds like a great singer from from back in the day. I just love his gravelly voice. He sounds all so stony and gravelly. Hello, Chad.
Havoc Productions himself.
Stop it, Mark. You're making me blush.
Oh boy. What's
How are
going
you?
on, Chad?
He's like a white Barry White, isn't he?
I don't know about that. How do I follow this lineup, man? You guys start with Sky, and then you got Jeannie, the champ. I don't even know what to
say. The best for last.
Man, I'm telling you. So hey, I should just jump in and say, hey, first of all, to Jeannie, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment, and then what she's doing with Jeanette, or for Jeanette, I think it's amazing, and I think it's a. I don't know. It's great to see the people in the community get together and get behind one another, and I think that that what she's doing is fantastic down there. I wish her the best of luck, and I wish Jeanette the best of luck. It sounds like she's fighting hard, and she's a killer. So let's see what she's got, right? And then Sky. What do I do? What do you say about that dude? I just love it. I got to tell you. When you guys remember when we went out and we did the Gomez Woodward in Sioux Falls, when Scott was so pissed at me because it was -5 for a high for 6 days, and he was so upset. I got to tell you, he got up to that giant lead in day one, and it's about 2 or 3 in the morning when we finally get to the hotel room. This is an exhibition. They weren't even playing for money, and and they there might have been some money bet on the side, but they weren't part of that. And getting in the elevator, you know what Sky says to me? He says, "Hey, I'm gonna try and do my best Sky voice." He's going, "I ain't gonna let your boy get to 25." The guy's a fierce competitor, man. And I'm telling you, he seemed fired up. I was watching that interview, from the background here, and he seems fired up. And Dennis is Dennis. Of course, like the way Mike said it, but I'm telling you, if anyone can beat Dennis by 40, it's Sky. And if he sets his mind to it, he is that good on a bar table. He's the best bar table player in the world, straight up. Absolutely. Anybody don't want to argue that. It's just a fact. And and I think I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens. Dennis is an absolute monster. He's on a tear right now. But whatever. Best of luck to Sky. I hope you get it, buddy.
What's going on at Havoc lately, Chad?
Man, it's been a busy week. We've got we had a couple of weeks ago. You guys saw me get my tail kicked in by a 17-year-old kid, Ty Blowers. Yep. And he beat me senseless. He played so well, and what a challenge match turned into an audition. And the truth is, I had no choice. This kid plays so well for his age. He plays so well for any age, and he's young, but he's mature in so many ways. And I'm so thrilled. As soon as we were done with that match, I think it took me about maybe 8 hours or so before I called him and said, "Hey, we should talk." And and I said, "I don't know what we can do, but we should do something." So we talked it out over a couple of days, and we worked out a deal. And I was really happy to sign him. The juniors are where it's at. The youth is where it's at. You take a look at where Sky came from. Look where Billy came from. Where my other guy Dan Wilson came from. Yeah, he support the juniors, and he's got a huge future. He came off a really, really, really good weekend this weekend where he had victories over Shane Van Boning.
Some champions.
Yeah, he beat Shane Van Boning, he beat Johnny Archer, and he beat Corey Deuel all in the same weekend. In the
On
same
a bar
tournament.
table, that's strong.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. Any player in the world that can beat those three people in the same tournament deserves to be talked about. And this kid's 17. You know, like, so, I mean, I think I picked a good one. What do you think?
Sounds like it.
Well, I gave you a hard time, Chad, because I said if you start sponsoring everybody that beats you, you're going to go broke pretty soon. But, you know, that's just a joke because you are a good player. And for him to beat you the way he did and then to go to that tournament, like you said, if you're a good player, you can upset a great player in a tournament. And likely that's the only thing you're going to do. But then he did it several times and beat several great players. So that's saying something there. So I'm excited to see him play. Yeah.
Right.
It's not a fluke when you do it like that.
Sure. I also love the fact that he was so humble about it. You know, I put a post out about it last night, and you know, we got a lot of response, a lot of commentary, and and his response to my post was, you know, the real test is when I beat them on their turf, which is the big table.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a great kid, you know, to be able to, you know, I shouldn't say kid. He's a great young man, and for him to say that the way that he said it, it's like, hey, yeah, I had a good weekend, but that's not where it stops. You know, I've got a lot of work to do, and you know, and to be able to beat them in their arena is the goal. And
what's he like on a big table, Chad?
Oh, he beat me senseless. He didn't miss a ball till it was 17-5. You know, we were playing 10 ball. He's got a monster break. Fantastic 10-ball break, which I guess probably Mike, you could probably tell me, but that's pretty much the measure now is the 10-ball break. How's your 10-ball break? You know,
if you want to be considered elite, you got to go and have
just put that shot up again, Joey, very quickly. Put the shot up, Joey. If he's
you're gonna rub it in now.
Look at that.
You're gonna rub it in.
That's a beautiful shot, isn't it?
That's Ty Blowers breaking all over Chad's shoulders right there.
There you go. Well, that's just him practicing. He broke better against me. But here's the reality, man. The way he started the match was perfect. Then I got into him a little bit, and I had a strategy. I was like, okay, I got to outmove this guy a little bit. I started to get into him a little bit, and I had a couple moves and everything else, and he managed to dodge that. I'm telling you, he finished the match against me stronger than he started it. And to me, it reminded me of like a player that's been playing professionally for a dozen years. And
I was just going to ask, what's his game like? What's his safety game like? What's his kicking like? What's his jumping like? Has he got the all-round game?
He's got all of it. Let me tell you something. I had him in a spot where I felt like if I did a couple of things that I could probably get this match back under control. And I played a safety on him where I stuck him behind a 10-ball with an 8-ball frozen on the end rail. You know, it was about, I don't know, it wasn't frozen. It was like this far off the end rail. And he banks this ball and makes it. I thought he scratched, and the ball rattled, and it stuck to 1 point. And he has a straight in, full table length 9-ball that's sitting right next to the 10-ball by the spot. He jacks up his cue. He follows this jump shot up, jacks up his cue, and fires in a full table stop shot on the 9-ball to get out. The 9-ball is better than the 8-ball. And that's when I was just broken. I was just like, okay, I can't do anything. This kid.
Sign him. That's it. It's a wrap.
He doesn't know fear. He's not old enough to. He's not old enough to be afraid of those shots yet, Chad.
I'm telling you, buddy. He played fantastic, and and I see really, really big things from him in the future. I think anybody who knows who he is in my area, everyone knows who he is. But he's going to get noticed now. And Corey gave me some trouble on Messenger last night because he says I blew his cover. But it's like whatever. This kid isn't about wanting to go into be a big time gambler. This kid wants to be a world champion. He wants to battle Fedor. He wants to battle Tyler. He wants to battle Shane and the best of the best of the best. And I believe the future of the professional game is very bright. And I believe that he believes that he can be there in that conversation.
Yeah, now, speaking of the professional game, I've heard you got a little something cooking. I know you can't quite spill the beans, but I heard you got something brewing out there.
I do. I've told everybody on every podcast and every broadcast and every conversation I've ever had that the game on the professional side needs a lift. And I've been working on, everyone knows about the tournament series that I've created on the amateur side to try and grow the sport. And I did these exhibitions, and with Sky, Roberto, Danny, Chris, and Billy, and we had a great time doing that. But it's like, does that really pay the bills for these guys? And so I've been working really, really hard on a concept that you guys are a little bit privy to and still in development. But the honest truth is, I want to bring something big to the professional game, and I'm working on it. And I promise you, I'm going to be announcing it really soon. And I feel like it's time. I feel like the game is growing. I feel like the game has a ton of momentum. I feel like look, Matchroom is doing some awesome stuff out there. In the UK, you've got this huge match with Sky and Dennis. Well, I mean, what is there, about 400,000 on the rail, Mike?
That's a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Bit. I'd say it's closer to 500,000.
Yeah, and that's a great thing for the game. And and although gambling isn't what I'm about as far as what I like to produce and what I'm trying to promote, I look at that and I go, well, if you can get a $500,000 bet on a pool match, then you've got a lot of attention in the sport. And I see the professional players, a lot of them do pretty good, but the honest truth is, I don't think they get paid enough. Let's put it right there. I don't think they get paid enough, and it forces them to go get involved in games that are I don't know, just a little bit. I don't know. I think the professional part of the sport is underdeveloped in the United States. Let's put it that way.
That's the biggest understatement I've ever heard in my life.
It's a double-edged sword because the only way players can make money is by going and playing these big challenge matches. And then some people say it's the hustling, the gambling side of it, which means that the sponsors aren't getting involved in it. So you've only got the real top players that are ever going to make money out of it because everyone wants to see them playing for big money. And what's happening to every other player?
Right. And so if you take a look at what they have to do is they have to scratch and they have to fight and claw for the rent check. And I'm thinking to myself, think of any sport, any sport. I mean, cycling isn't an everyday sport, but they're not scratching to pay the rent. They've got sponsors. They've got people behind them. They've got, they're getting a paycheck where they can perfect their craft. You got this Sky Woodward was just on your show just a few minutes ago talking about how hard he's working, right? Mm-hmm. And he puts in as much time as Shane puts in as much time. Corey Dool puts in a ton of time. Like all of them put in all this time, and to perfect the craft. And and work on their game and just be nerds about it, be scientists about it, and what do they get? Would they get to fight for a rent check? And I'm thinking it's got to be different than that. It could possibly be better than that. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on creating an environment for the professional player that's a little bit different. It's cut from it's never been really tried, and I'm excited to bring it to them, and I'm hoping to be able to announce it in the next probably 60 days or so. And you guys obviously be the first to know once I'm ready to roll it out.
That was my next question.
Yeah, you have to come back on. You have to come back on and share that with us. So, Chad, tell us, there was some big news with Danny Olson this week. We covered his match against Chris Robinson in Colorado, but tell us about the Danny Olson news.
Oh, well, I'm thrilled. Danny, you guys all know I've been a champion of Danny since he was 19 years old. I've talked about that before, but for him to as soon as he got with Havoc to work with me to build this brand, I've been trying to get him out on the street. And there's people that know him and people that don't know him yet, but they certainly will. And we worked to get him a sponsorship with Predator. And I think that's a really, really big step for his career. Predator is, it's an 800-pound gorilla in the industry. And for them to to be so receptive. To bringing him on the team, I think it's a testament to Predator wanting to bring in the best players, but it's also a testament to what Danny's accomplished over the last couple of years. He has worked his butt off, and he's developed his game, and he really deserves this chance. He put a really good showing out when he played Chris Robinson, and he just keeps on practicing. As soon as that was over, he went straight back into the practice room.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. So he's riding this wave, but what's next for Danny? I mean, and I'm right there with you when it comes to him being well deserved on being on Team Predator, because he's worked his ass off to go and get there, and I'm super proud of that. But I heard there's a lot of guys chirping to go and play Danny Olson, and I think that they might be surprised when they get called. But I'm curious, who's next? Who's Danny gonna play next? Who's on the radar for Danny?
Well, we got a couple of people that are interested in playing him. I guess I'll go ahead and tell you publicly that one of the match that we're trying to put together right now, and I think we can do it. He's interested in doing it. We just got to figure out the timing and the location and everything else. But I think he's going to play Donnie Mills in a pretty big set.
Love it.
If we can get it together. Sorry, Donnie, if I just just threw that out there without asking permission. But Donnie was interested. Danny's interested. They're both. I mean, Donnie's a fantastic player, and he's a good guy. He's a good competitor, and that's one of the things that Danny and I've talked about is like when we want to put him against somebody, we want to put him against somebody that's that's professional in that. In that it's a good match, but it's also everybody's got character that's involved, and it's going to be professional all the way. And Donnie's that. He's been around the block so many times. He's played everybody, and it would be a great.
Got a lot of character. That's for sure. He's got a lot of character.
Yeah,
for sure.
But that's hey, personality for personality. It's great, and they both play a great rotation game, and I think that's probably the game we should play. I don't know exactly. We haven't worked out the details. We haven't worked out the date. We haven't worked out the the location or anything else. But we're talking, and I think we'll get it done. And actually, basically, because I said this on your live stream, I think it has to get done now. So
I hope so.
I'm excited to do it, and Danny's excited to play. He basically told me, when all these people came chirping, like you say, Mike, he just basically.
I heard of a lot of guys that were going and saying, I want a piece of Danny Olson. I want to go and match up with Danny Olson. And a few of them, I was kind of surprised because, and I tried to warn Joey, because Joey didn't know what he was getting his ass into when it comes to Danny Olson. He learned. He saw that break firsthand. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you saw that big break in person. Now you know about Danny Olson. And I try to let you know. And I think there's a lot of guys that are going to want to sign up to go and play him, but they better watch out, man. Danny's coming, and Danny's on the rise, big time.
You know what?
But he's got
Mike?
He's got to stay in front of people's eyes.
Look, Mike, I knew Danny Olson could play, and I knew Chris could play. And when that match, I always talk to you. I try to get your inside info. And when we talked about that match, and you were like, Danny's 10-ball break is astonishing. That is going to be the difference in this match. And I watched it for 3 straight days. Mark, you watched it.
And he wasn't even using
it was a
his
lot
own
of
cue.
But
he was
Danny's
using
safety
somebody
game
else's
was strong
cue, right?
too, though. Danny had a real plays all around.
Everything. His decision-making, his shot-making, everything was just on for him for those 3 days. I really felt bad for Chris because I like Chris a lot. He was a true professional through the whole thing.
He is.
But Danny was just clicking on all cylinders. And watching him play, being right there with him, I'm like, this guy can play with pretty much anybody. And so I think the Donnie Mills matchup is incredibly intriguing. I think Donnie's a heck of a player, a big breaker as well. And I think that's going to be a really good match. And I'm excited. Chad, you got to make it happen for sure.
I probably ought to get him on Messenger as soon as we're done talking here. He'll be like, "What'd you just do?" But actually,
hey, Donnie, if Donnie's here, Donnie, are you in the chat? Dominic, get Donnie in here. Let's see.
Yeah, get Donnie in here.
No. You gotta.
Like
Dom said it best. You got to clear your schedule. You got to have a lot of time to go and make a game with Donnie Mills because he can be kind of. It can be a struggle. He'll
Yeah.
give you some gray hairs. I ain't got no gray hair, but he'll give you some gray hairs.
I've got a question for you. Can we please commentate on it? We want to be the commentary team on that match. I love to commentate. It was the first gig I did with you, actually, Chad. I think with Havoc.
Isn't that where you two lovebirds met? You and Joey.
Actually,
no, I'm talking about Joey and
that's right,
and Mark.
Oh, Joey and Mark met there.
Yeah, we met there. Chad and I met on Nate Mindham's Cue It Up tournament, didn't we, Chad? The night with your breaking.
Oh yeah, Mark was just giving me hell with the perfect accent about how I kept breaking dry in that virtual event. It was awful, but I don't know. It's okay.
And look, guys, this is so much fun. We really do have to get going though. And Chad, thanks so much for stopping by. We really appreciate your updates. We appreciate what you're doing for the pool community, and we're excited to see what's coming. Yeah, you come on back in another couple weeks and give us an update on that professional scene that you're talking about, and hopefully an update on Donnie and Danny.
No, that sounds great, man. Thank you guys for having me. Mike, thanks for the insight. Mark, always good to see you. Joey, keep up the good work. And then if you have time to plug the junior match that we got with my other guy, I'll let you guys do that. And thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, and this is the match we're talking about. It's coming up on June 30th, and it's going to be Sam Henderson, a great young kid. Talked to him not too long ago on an interview during the Danny Olson match, and Cash Lance from Colorado. They're going to be matching up, and that's going to be streamed by the Cue It Up Network and Nate Mindham. So check that out. That'll be coming June 30th.
I love all the stuff with the juniors, man. It's just great, especially here in the States, because in Europe, you guys got such a good system worked out with the Euro Tour and the Euro EPBF or whatever it is. So I mean, I'm real glad to go and see. And I know Ra's doing a lot of great things with his junior tour, which we should have Ron. And I'm super thrilled to go and see all these things with junior players coming about. We need it. We definitely do.
Yeah, Mark, would you like to introduce our last guest, talking with our pool room segment tonight?
Yeah, well, I actually saw a post on Facebook just yesterday, believe it or not, and this room just looked absolutely gorgeous. It was like something that I would see around here, around the countryside where I live. I mean, just look at that for a room, and the outside of the building, it just looks like a farm barn or something. You expect to see lots of horses inside it or something, but it's not. It's just full of diamond tables. So I reached out to them and said, look, we do this feature where we just want to highlight a pool room. Do you want to come on? And he said, well, yes, I would love to come on. And his name is, well, I've only got two initials, JT. Is he? There he is. Look.
JT Thompson. Hey, JT, how's it going, buddy? Can you hear us okay?
I'm here. The Wi-Fi's off. How we doing?
No, we got yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good.
All right, excellent.
So JT, checking out the photo that we just showed there that people have been seeing online, the room looks amazing, and it looks like you could probably fit twice as many tables in there. And so there had to be some decisions made, like we want to make this a nice environment for the players. Tell us about the room and what you do there at the room.
I'm the tournament director here. I basically run a 10-ball tournament mid-month. The room just opened a couple, so this is brand new here. We're basically the owners, Bob and Vicky, are from California originally. Here basically as a semi-retirement, this room, and they wanted to create an experience or a destination, shall we say, rather than just a traditional pool room. So they were out to find a unique layout, which they found here. We have a lot of extra space. I mean, you could probably double the amount of pool tables in here if you really put them in like most places do.
They look beautiful. Where are you located?
We're in Hampton Falls, New Hampshire, which is about 45 minutes outside of Boston.
Nice.
So JT, tell us about some of the events that you run there.
Well, we have league here 3 nights a week at this point. We just got started with the leagues about a month and a half ago. Things got postponed a little bit because of COVID and everything else, like everybody's experiencing right now. We were supposed to open up before the holidays, opened up the beginning of February instead because of all the delays. So we have leagues Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Monday, I believe, is the Napa League. Tuesday is a USAPL 8 and 10 ball combination night. And Thursday is BCA 8 ball. And then, like I said, I run the 10 ball event, which is usually the second Saturday of the month. And we're looking to fill more dates with events. We have a couple of tours coming through as well, starting next month.
Can
we
you
love
tell us
hearing that,
about,
especially after the rough year that's been going on with everybody in
it's been
COVID,
rough.
man. So
yeah, can you tell us about the tours that are coming through? Which tour?
Mark Dion runs the New England 9 ball series. He's the big one through here right now. I think he's got 4 dates. Plus he's chosen to run his year-end final here, which will be big as well.
awesome.
How can
And we have a couple of other people that are still talking about it, so I don't have anything I can say is confirmed yet.
yeah, when we were talking earlier, JT, you were telling us a little bit about the history of the property and stuff. Can you share that with folks?
Yeah, this location was originally built as a shoe store. A company called Dexter's, which turned into Super Shoes, which you don't see too many of them anymore. They've pretty much liquidated some of. They have a few spots, but not many left. Very country style building. The open beam concept upstairs. I'm actually sitting downstairs right now. Yeah, pretty unique. And then it got purchased by a company that turned it into a poker room. Which has been pretty common up here lately. There's quite a few of them around. And the poker room was actually doing so well that there's an old dog track down the road, which is also a poker room now because you don't do the racing anymore. They bought the business from this poker room and shut it down because they were taking too much of their business away, I guess, from what I've heard.
No kidding.
So it was vacant for a little while, and now it's the House of Billiards.
Wow. So how many tables have you got? How many tables are in there? It looks like you get about 50 in there, but how many have you got?
Yeah, we have 12 Diamond Pro-Am tables. That was the initial purchase. Upstairs we have 7, which is the spread out that you showed the picture of earlier. Really nice. I mean, especially with all of the people, spacing themselves 6 feet apart and staying away from each other right now. That's very, very handy. And then downstairs we have 5 right now, but there is talk down the road to add some more. I think the goal, if everything can get going within a year or so, I would guess is a year or plus is going to be about 16, which for up here is a good size room.
It's almost like it was designed with COVID in mind, like keep the tables as far apart as possible. They had foresight, right?
Social distancing was
socially distanced diamonds.
Yeah, the owner, because he wanted it to be a destination and he wanted it to be a place that people would come, he literally taped out the floor to the size of the table and took 2 house cues and made sure that nowhere that the tables, he actually relayed them out several times, nowhere that you go will the 2 cues touch each other.
Wow.
Which was
I love hearing that.
That's how spaced out they are.
Love hearing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how can people find out more information about the room and about your tournaments and events and the stuff that you're doing there? Is there a Facebook page or?
Yep, there is a Facebook page for House of Billiards. You'll see the picture of the outside, which basically looks like a log cabin with a like a carport in the front. It's got a drive-through, so which is really convenient if it's bad weather for people loading in, loading out. Anybody who might be handicapped or wants to drop somebody off, it's just a drive-through, which is just like a hotel.
Don't want to get the cues wet.
Exactly. Especially the really nice ones.
I'm in Arizona. We don't have to worry about that,
So House of Billiards is they have a Facebook page. I'm one of the moderators as well as our league owner here, because the owners they don't know too much about that. We're working with them on that though. We're getting them there. I also have a page. I do basic cue repair tips, that kind of stuff. So people can check out Just the Tip Cue Repair. That's me. And we also have a bunch of local guys that are sharing it up, as well as when we post the tournament. Leagues will be starting up again. Probably the next sessions probably be in June. But we're running specials right now as well, where it's basically free pool with a $20 tab on any of the days that don't have
On
league.
diamonds, I'm moving.
On diamonds.
See if we can get a room built
On
out there. I'll
diamonds.
just move in. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, with a $20
I'm booking the
tab,
flight. I'm
any
booking
day
the
you
flight as we speak.
That's a great deal, man.
Yeah, it's basically that's the April special. It's basically to get popularity, to get people. Believe it or not, you can come here when there's no league, and I bet you 1 to 2 tables will be being used. It's really crazy. It really is.
And JT, you guys are kind of near the coast, right? So
We are. Yeah, we're just
this,
a little bit inland from the coast.
Yeah, so with this summer, as people on the East Coast might head up north and do some vacationing, it'd be great if they could stop in and check out your new place. I think that would be awesome.
Absolutely. Hampton Beach, which is the coast, is about 15 minutes away from here.
That's
huge
nothing. That's
tourist
right
area.
there.
We're one town in from Hampton Beach, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're on Route 1,
very importantly, JT. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think this is a very valid point. Do you have food there?
They do. We have a basic kitchen at this point.
What's on the menu? What's on the menu, man? Come on.
A lot of subs, a couple of basic calzones, some sandwiches. They have a pretty good beer menu. They're working on the taps. So everything is canned right now, canned or bottled. But a lot of it is they're working on doing more hot foods. We just haven't gotten to that point yet. They're trying to figure out the best way to go about it. It's not going to be an elaborate kitchen, but there will be food here.
Okay.
With everything going on, this just makes me so happy to go in here. Leagues coming, tournaments coming, rooms opening up.
Food
yeah. I mean, everything about it, man. Keep up the great work, all that hustle. I love hearing it.
Yeah, we got people coming in. Sorry to cut you off, JT, but people coming in the chat saying 30 minutes north of Boston. I mean, what more can you ask for? So
we're basically right between Boston and chunks of Maine, so it's a pretty convenient. Literally, we're about 5 to 7 minutes off the highway, so it's pretty easy. Easy to get to either direction you come from. We're right off the highway.
Well, hey, I know you were in the staging room when we had Chad Sholders from Havoc. So maybe we can talk to Chad and try to convince him to have the Donnie Mills, Danny Olson match at your room. Wouldn't that be great?
I don't think anybody here would have any complaints about it. That's for sure.
That would be pretty awesome. You get your room some exposure. Maybe we'll make a road trip, Mike and Mark, and meet him.
Hey, Mark, book me a flight too, Mark, while you're at it. Let's go.
I'll get onto my broker straight away.
Our league owner is actually a big BCA USAPL guy, and you were talking about juniors programs before. He's actually got a very large juniors program up this way in the Massachusetts area. He's got a couple of champions under his belt, a couple of junior champions under his belt. Gentleman now that's actually, but he's basically about a 700 Fargo, and I think he's 19 years old. Crazy, borderline on that pro, what people consider the pro level.
I tell you, when you have those places with the juniors programs, those are the places in 5 or 10 years you're going to look and you're going to see that next crop of great players coming up.
Exactly.
New England's had a ton of great players over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to see even more of them. So, JT, thanks so much for visiting with us and sharing about the room, House of Billiards in Hampton Falls. So, guys, check him out.
The great work, JT.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mike.
And if we can do anything to help, let us know.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Pleasure being on. Thank you.
Thanks, JT.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, brother.
So
that's just great,
the kind
man.
of thing we do, right, Mike? That's the kind of thing we do here. Highlight great pool stuff that's going on all over the world. Highlight them. Show the hard work.
It's been a rough 12 months, man. People all over the world, and not just here domestically, but Mark, the same thing over there with you guys. And I know you guys are still going through a lot with lockdowns and everything else. So I mean, with all the negative shit going on, I just love hearing positive things going on like this, and rooms opening back up, people starting to come in, get together, play pool again, man. That's what we love.
Yeah, and it's the signs are encouraging because I've seen over the last week, I've seen a couple new rooms popping up. A picture, I think Alex Olinger, I'm not
Yep.
sure how you pronounce that, has a room that's opening up, and I saw a picture of all these diamonds coming in, and that's
Omega
great.
Mike.
It's been super tough, and so to see rooms still opening up and some things happening, I think that's great for the game and the sport. I'm super excited for it. So.
Talking
Without a
of
doubt.
diamonds, should we do our Here we go. Look, it's straight up on the screen.
Yeah.
Right up. Congratulations, of course, to Tyler Steyer and Margaret Fefilova. She did say yes, apparently.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd use this as our little caption competition this week. And, well, Mike came up with rather a good one earlier. What did you say, Mike?
Oh, I don't remember now. Maybe that wasn't the
That's not
diamond
the
I
kind
was
of diamond.
expecting.
Yeah.
That wasn't the diamond I had my eyes on. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. There was lots sort of based on, if you go and get married now, you're never going to get to go out and play pool. And that was her saying that, not him. She's going to be going out and playing pool. He's going to be staying at home.
Yeah.
That's the rub there. But, well, I think let's stick this other picture up because I think this is the best one. I think we all agreed on this one, didn't we? There we go. Now, this guy, I actually know this guy. His name's Michael Wong. Michael Wong. He actually is a cue dealer in Bangkok in Thailand. And
yes, I get out of sending the gift this week, which, by the way, I still owe Del Sim something.
Yeah, but I'll sort that one out for you.
There you go.
Because I know him very well, so I'll get him. I'll get the prize to him. I'll actually get it to him from his shop.
That's awesome.
He's got plenty in his shop, and well, he's put an onion in that ring box, and well, it's an onion ring, isn't it? I only just thought it's an onion ring. And Margaret's saying, that brings tears to my eyes. I mean, that was our favourite one, mate.
Guys, we had a lot of fun with that, but let me ask you a question. Is this the new pool power couple?
Yes.
I mean, assuming they go ahead and get married, is there going to be a married couple that plays better than these two collectively? Mike, what do you think?
I don't know, but that kid's gonna have some strong work ethic because every time you go and see them on social media, they're at the gym and they're doing drills and that kid's gonna be a world champion. By the time he's 4 years old. So I'm happy
what's
for him.
the chances? Husband and wife, world champions at the same time. There's a good chance of that as well, right?
I think they both got that kind of potential. They still got to do some work now, but Tyler's work ethic, not just domestically, but in the grand scheme of the game on the world stage, his work ethic is pretty strong. So, and I'm pretty sure Margaret has the same kind of work ethic because they seem to vibe well together. So, yeah, I'm happy for him for sure.
Yeah, I met my wife playing pool. It was in a league, APA league, and she was our two, and so we never really shared like this competitive drive to play pool the way these two will, which I think is kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the way that plays out, because they'll be able to kind of, iron sharpens iron, right? And I saw a comment that Tyler made about like he needs to be on his game because they're talking about this event that's coming up, and Mark, a little bit about this event, and the women are going to be breaking 9-ball. It's a battle of the sexes. The women are going to be breaking 9-ball virtual, and the men are going to be breaking 10-ball. Here are those racks right here, and this is going to be the same rack for every single rack that they hit, right? It's going to be this particular pattern, and we were kind of bantering about this earlier. What do you think about having these patterns here? The men hit the 10-ball break like this, the women hit the 10-ball like that. What do you think?
I'm bored already of it, to be honest.
You ought to be because you watch more of this than anybody else.
I do. I commentate on it every day, and to see the same. Look, I love competition. I love seeing men versus women. Not particularly. Battle of the Sexes. I don't really like the name of it either because when we're trying to bring the game of the women and the men together, I don't think you need to be trying to pit them against each other, so to speak. I don't like look, I hate pattern racking. Okay, I hate pattern racking.
Yeah.
The whole point about not encouraging pattern racking is not to give the same rack all the time, and that's exactly what they've done, and they do it every single tournament. And look, I love Nate, and I've commentated on his I probably won't get to commentate on another one after what I'm going to say, but you know, you've got to speak but you've got to speak your mind, right? And I think, look, I'll show you something. I'll show you a picture now.
Your insight on this is more than anybody else, I think.
It is because I work with it every single day, and we suffered people cheating with pattern racking.
Can I see that again, Mark? Show that graphic again. What is this from?
This is a computer generated. There's 32 different racks there. Every single one of them is different. No two racks the same. We've actually just worked on another one where we've got 100 different racks. And whenever we have people playing on our tournaments, then they have to follow the racks from number one.
I like it because it'll always be different. Like
it's always different.
This
and
bow stuff is already going to be difficult enough as it is just by itself. But then you throw on similar patterns on top of that. I mean, not similar, but the exact same patterns every single time, the same layouts. These guys, they're pros. They're not like us where that cue ball is going to be going, 4 rails banging around and moving, 5 different balls. Everything is super controlled. So it's like then you throw on the pattern on top of that. It can be kind of a snooze fest sometimes for me. So I definitely like.
Look,
exactly, Mike, and they're given the rack 5 days or 7 days. Well, when does it start?
To work on it.
5 or 7 days. Sorry.
Yeah, all this time to go and work on it.
Yeah, so it becomes boring. Who wants to see, the same balls going in the same place every single rack? And that's how good players are, and that's what they will do. The balls will go in the same place, and you're just watching the same rack every single time, and that's not what Q Sports is about.
Yeah, let me point out with this 9-ball rack. I used to play on the Planet Pool Tour, which was a rack your own 9-ball, and I had 3 things that I really focused on other than the 1 in the front and the 9. I made sure that the 2 and 3 were right behind the 1 because we didn't have any rules about no pattern racking. I made sure the 6 was on the wing ball that I was going to make because I don't like shooting the 6 ball for some reason, the color of it or whatever. And I made sure that, actually, that was it. Those were the only things. And I tell you, when I started doing that, I was much more successful in breaking and running, because the 1's going up table, the 2's going up table, and it's just a pluck, and you're already on the 3 ball, and you have a really good chance to get out. So I think the women are going to win this. I really do.
Let me just
say,
say,
are the favorites.
Very important to say, though, just to put the record straight, this was drawn out of a bag. It wasn't decided by a particular person. It was drawn out of so it could have been any formation.
But this is an age-old question when it comes to professional players in the rack, whether it's template, no template, whether it's rack your own. Obviously, here in the States, they can't, we can't go and afford to have referees at big tournaments. So, I mean, there's always been this debate on both sides, and I think you're kind of in a lose-lose situation. But I think they do try to make the best of a terrible situation because pros are going to want to do their best to control everything when it comes to the break, and that's their job. This is their livelihood, right? So like they're trying to beat the game, right?
Look, so, I'm not beating anyone up about this. They've made the best of a bad situation,
right?
But I think there's a different way of doing it. The argument that I've heard before is, it takes too long. It doesn't take too long. Everyone's got this list on their table at the side while your opponent's playing. You're setting the balls up. It's no different to following that list that we give them. It doesn't take any longer whatsoever. And I don't agree with it. I'm sorry, I just don't agree with it. I just think it's boring.
Yeah, well, I just want to, for the record, say that I support any events that are going on right now for pool, and I'm glad to see this event. I'm kind of with you, Mark, where I'm not so sure about the battle of the sexes part. I mean, I think Matchroom just showed how women can compete with men, and it's kind of intriguing and interesting, But rather than kind of pitting them against each other, it's almost like, yeah, they're just here. If somebody who didn't watch pool watched that Matchroom event, I don't think they would have been able to decipher, oh, men are stronger players than women, or it didn't really come into the conversation. So it's kind of interesting the way this is playing out. But I'm all for anything that is promoting the game of pool, so I will support it.
Look, so will I. So will I. But I just think letting the women play 9-ball and the men play 10-ball, you're already saying, hang on a minute, the men are better than the women. I don't agree with that whatsoever. If you want to have
a completely different rack, it's a completely different break. It's a whole other animal. And then you throw in the template on top of that. And I don't know if the ones being racked on the spot with the template, yeah, I think the women are going to be favored too to win that event for sure.
Yeah, they might torture them.
Yeah.
They really might.
That ball's going to shoot in every time.
Let's not forget, the women. I want it to be a level playing field, and I want it to be a level playing field. Don't make it easier for the women. Make it level. I think the women can compete with the men level. I think they should have just made the tournament 9-ball, and the women would. I don't think there's any difference.
Yeah, put Chen Min in there, and then she's probably going to be favored. We're right up there. Yeah.
No, I mean a lot of those European women that Nate's got in there and can go and play 9-ball, can go and break 9-ball, can go and control it. So yeah, and Seeming Chen's a monster, but those girls are going to go and hold their own for sure. But I would like the idea of seeing women go and play 10-ball, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but I think that them playing 9-ball is the equalizer for sure. But I agree with you. They can go and hang with the men in 9-ball, so you might as well have just made it
all 9-ball.
Yeah, make it all 9-ball because they're already playing with a template.
Yeah. And the product of men breaking better in 10-ball is, to me, I don't think it's about power. I think it's just been more time that men have put in on the 10-ball break over time.
Do y'all like the template or y'all like the triangle?
Look, the women, there's no women's 10-ball. There's no women's 10-ball competitions. There's very few, So
there have been in the past. Rubelin's won the women's world 10-ball. I remember some years back, the Filipino, and she's a monster too in her own right. I think Kelly's won a world 10-ball championship, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, and it's entertaining to go and watch. If produced well, it's entertaining to go and watch. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know.
Mike,
we'll see what
happens. To answer your question,
y'all are just stepping around that question.
I like the triangle rack if I know how to rack better than my opponent.
For pros, no. I'm talking about for pros, like
for pros,
for professionals.
Yeah, I like the triangle.
Can we just have a quick check in the chat? Is there any comments or views?
Yes, when we mentioned about Havoc having that Danny Olson, Donnie Mills match up there, right then he was chiming in. Good for you, JT. Good luck out there. So there's been quite a few people stopping in and saying hi. Rubster's always saying hi. Ken Felton, he helped out with those Havoc matches, and he says his sister lives up there in New Hampshire, which is kind of cool. So yeah, we've had quite a few people check in, and hopefully next week we'll get even more chatter in there, and we can address it. And I'd like to see people really chime in and with some questions for the guests that we have. I think that would be kind of cool. So hopefully next week we'll cue that up a little better.
Yeah, I think if I had my eye on the ball a little bit more, I could post who the guests are going to be, and so we could get some questions coming in for them. Can I just drop a little hint? It's not confirmed yet, but it's pretty certain it's going to happen.
Okay.
Mika Immonen will be our guest next week.
Oh, really?
He's always good for
the Iceman.
He's always good for a little bit.
Let's get Oscar on the stream too while we're at it, so we can go and have those two back together. I want to see them.
There we go. Then let's work on that for next week. Let's work on that for next week.
All right. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks again. Thanks for you guys tuning in. Really appreciate it. All the feedback, and keep sharing this, getting it out there. Don't forget to check out Board Lock Picker. Go subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to Pool Player Podcast. Check out Molina Mike on Facebook, and hit up the Booth Brothers on Facebook, and make sure that you guys are following and clicking the notification.
What you got, Mark?
I've got my hand up like a child in a classroom. Please,
yes, Mark, you may speak.
I cannot finish this show this week without saying happy birthday to Jason Newgrid, who manages the Power Break Billiard Hall there in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. He's just put on a fantastic tournament the last week. 16 top players, 1,600 euros to the winner. It was won by Matt Callaghan, a Filipino. But let me just tell you, in the last 8, there were 7 Filipinos and 1 European. That European was Roman Heibler, the Czech player. Tremendous. Yeah. He can play some pool, and he got runner-up out of all those players. So congratulations to Roman Heibler. He got 500 euros. And Matt Callaghan took the 1,600 euros. It was a terrific tournament. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Take care.